People. Que pasa, sakpa, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. Now, people, the other day, there was a tragic incident that happened in a place called Walker's Hill. Walker's Hill is in Red Hills. A lot of people confuse Red Hills for Red Hills Road. Two different places. Red Hills Road, where them have Calabar High School. Red Hills, when you go up the hill, some place up in some rural St. Andrew, it is called Walker's Hill specifically. Now, people, there was a young man. His name is Shortman, Orville Matthews, the government name. Some people say Mr. Matthews, he is a pig farmer. Mr. Matthews was always seen walking up and down with his machete. People, regular occurrence in a Jamaica in a rural area. However, they say that Shortman, Mr. Matthews, same person, was a decent person. Him always a heal up people, would not harm a fly. However, people, the other side of Shortman, people are saying that Shortman always frequents the graveside, the graveyard. Shortman have some sort of other skill. He was living a double life. Shortman is a Obia man. Now, people, have you ever seen that movie Chucky, when Chucky go to the graveyard and him get possessed by a demon? It seems as if that is exactly what happened to Mr. Shortman, Mr. Matthews. According to residents, according to Popo, on that fateful day, maybe about 7 a.m. or so, school picnic out there. It is said that Mr. Matthews was walking with his machete. However, things took a drastic change for the worse. It is said that him chop a man, that man's name not nice. He then rushed some school picnic. A man intervened. That man's name is Mr. Philip Bennett. Mr. Philip Bennett is a construction worker by trade. Mr. Philip Bennett, also known as Dallas or Dulfus. Everybody knows him. He is highly respected in the neighborhood, in the community. It is said that Shortman, Mr. Matthews, take off Mr. Bennett head clean, like chicken head on Sunday when you prepare it with the rice and peas. A very bad sight. Him also rush couple other people, run down some student, run down a lady. However, by the time the Popo got there was all sorts of chaos and catastrophe in the era. People have to run for them life. It is said that the Popo was kind of slow in their show up. Them show up a little late. By the time them show up, couple people, one man lose him life, Mr. Bennett, Dulfus or Dulfus, whatever them call him, Dallas. Him lose him life, him head gone, clean. Next man, not nice. Him shoulder get chop on him shoulder. Now, people, there was also some controversy as it pertains to the crime scene. There's a man, his name is Toughest. It is said that when the Popo come on the scene, them run down Mr. Matthews, them bust up couple shot off of him. However, it seems as if his trade, his second trade, being an Obia man, it came into play. None of the con them hit him, according to residents. People, you understand, when it comes to these country story, people always twist and turn. It always sounds exaggerated. It always sounds over-sensationalized. The point is that they took him into custody. The Popo them take him into custody. Now, people, here's the next thing. And this thing kind of upset the Popo that were conducting the crime scene. It is said that when the Popo reached on the scene, whether they were early or late, whenever them reach, the residents them a tamper or a trample the crime scene. The Popo a try run the people them and I tell them, say, listen, you can't just a trample upon the crime scene. So therefore, on a take one on yourself. Now people, you know that whenever anything happens in Jamaica, everybody wants to put it on social media. Everybody wants to be the journalist. Everybody wants to be the first to bust the news. So therefore, people that all over the crime scene, they were not listening to the pawpaw. It is said that a group of men who were hanging out on the crime scene or in the crime scene, the pawpaw tell them to left, them sit down right this upon some sort of gully, the pawpaw fling them over. One man was hurt, his name is Toughest. People, there is video all over social media, pan TVJ, pan Gleaner, Rete, you name it, it is there. However, according to Toughest and other people, Toughest claimed that he was trying to help the youth after the man take off Mr. Bennett's head. However, people, the pawpaw did not want to hear that. The pawpaw said, listen, we asked the people them to leave and they did not listen. So therefore, them fling Toughest over the wall, over the wall, over the wall, like Elephant Man sang. So people, that is that. So people, at the end of the day, Mr. Dulfus or Dallas, he lost his life in a very tragic way. Mr. Matthews or Shortman, he is now in the custody after chopping people, after taking off Mr. Bennett's head. The next man, Toughest. Toughest ears hard, Toughest ears tough. Pawpaw tell him, left the crime scene. He did not want to hear. He thought that he was a part of the investigative team. So therefore, the pawpaw fling him over the wall. Now as it pertains to Shortman, the views of people very conflicting. Some people say him harmless. Some people say him always a heal him up. Some people say him never, they are stunned by the chain of events because he has never acted in that manner. They are wondering, they are pondering, was he actually possessed by the devil? Was he demon possessed? Because people, remember me tell you, some people are say him frequent the graveyard. So therefore, did the demons of Chucky, the demons of the devil, Lucifer, invade his body and told him to do stuff? Was the demon on his shoulder speaking to him? Now people, it is said that after Shortman did his deed, the people turned upon Shortman to premises. It is said that Shortman mother, she lost her life or she died and she left him a house. He also had a next house. However, people, after that day, he had no houses, no more. Everything burned down because the people want to get rid of him. The people want to erase everything that he did and start from scratch again. So people, like me say, at the end of the day, tragedy, tragedy, tragedy. Was he demon possessed or was he just a ticking time bomb waiting to happen? People, me no know. Now the next thing that is popping in the news is that we see that our Justice Minister, Dr. Horace Chang, has pretty much put his foot in his mouth based on some statements that he made, some comments that he made at a news conference in Westmoreland. So pretty much the gist of what he said is that the pawpaw, whenever they are confronted, they should respond and take out the gunman them. Whoever challenges the pawpaw, you should not call the paramedics, you should call the coroner. As a matter of fact, if them get a call and say, listen, man down, gun down, bad man, dip on the floor, flat out like Alibaba carpet, don't show up, let them BLEED out. Pretty much that is the gist of what he was trying to say. Whether I am misinterpreting what he said or not, that is what the average person would get from his comments. Now people, we see say, Indicom and specifically Jamaicans for Justice, they are condemning his comments. They want it to be retracted. However, people, you and I know when you say something, it is out there, you can apologize. However, when you say it, the effect, the damage is already done. When we talk about damage, it seems as if Mr. Horace Chang, he is doing damage control. he is kind of nervous. So maybe this is a knee-jerk reaction based on a survey that was recently done. The survey said that there is a 93, maybe about 94, no confidence in the Justice Minister. That means that he is doing a SHITTY job. The people are not too thrilled with him. The people don't really feel as if he is qualified or he has the characteristics or he can make any sorts of changes. If any sorts of changes, maybe it is only going to get worse on people. We should not blame the people based on what we see, based on the crime statistics. Now people, Andrew Hollis has said nothing yet. However, Mr. Chang has done some sorts of damage control. Mr. Chang is saying that his comments, his views were misinterpreted. What he meant is that the poor are supposed to defend themselves because them know that if they miss, they might go missing. And people, yes, that part of the comment or statement is true. However, when you then added the part where say, if them get caught up, there should be no sorts of rush for the paramedics or any sorts of help. Pretty much make them lay down there because it is only going to cost the taxpayers, meaning you and I. And then this person, if this person goes to court, more than likely he is going to beat it. It is the same sorts of criminals that are creating or causing most of the problem in Jamaica. So therefore, the minister was saying, do us all a favor and pretty much just take care of yourself or lay down there until you reach the afterlife. People, that is clear. Anybody with an iota of sense could interpret that, and you could not get any other interpretation unless, of course, you are dunce and biased and a family or friend of Mr. Chang. So pretty much like I said, this is damage control. This is Mr. Take back him statement, Dr. Horace Chang, our Justice Minister. Pretty much in the last statement that he gave, he said, listen, what I meant is that I want the poor to defend themselves. I want the poor to come out on the upper hand whenever there's any sorts of confrontation, conflict with gunmen and the poor. Nothing wrong with that. Now people, like me say, he is getting all sorts of condemnation from Jamaicans for justice and income. And we understand that there's a staff order, there's a policy. The policy clearly states that, listen, if you are somebody in any sorts of confrontation and you have no choice but to use force, full force, deadly force, then so be it. However, if that person is injured, that person should be granted access to medical assistance. He should be taken to the hospital. And people, while you and I might not agree with that, we know say we are pretty much in a desperate time. And like them say, desperate times call for desperate circumstances. So therefore, we do not have a problem with what the Justice Minister say. However, like them say, with great power comes great responsibility. So therefore, you are not expected to say what you said. Leave that up to people like me that don't give a DEM0N. So therefore, there it is. I just said that. If you have a problem, a pestilence, you pretty much beg on them. You pretty much pyro them. If them lucky, them get the raid spray, which is not so potent. Now, people, one thing that I also realize is that JFJ, they are doing their job, and that is their job to defend the rights of human beings. Whether that human being is inhumane, cold and callous, meaning a criminal. However, it seems as if these people are super ultra sensitive when it comes to defending criminals. It seems as if them get a high, them get a little stiffy when them defend criminal more than they defend the victims. And people, Maybe I am misunderstanding them. However, people may just say, they want to give these criminals too much rights. People, when you live in a country, as in Jamaica, anyway we can get a doubler, we need to get it. Anyway we can rid these people, these pestilence, these gunmen, people, I am all for it. And I am sure that most Jamaicans are going to think the same way, with the exception of the Christians and Jamaican for Justice, people that are aligned with them. However, people, the truth and the fact is that the Justice Minister needs to be very careful with the words that he uses in his conference, because it can and will come back and haunt him. And in this case, that is the case. Now, people, like me say, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate straightforward news, no beating around the bush, no gimmicks, staying straight on the topic, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. That is how YouTube promotes this video to like-minded, sensible people like yourself. Bless up.